And maybe, just maybe, Connecticut needs a governor, somebody who started up a business and created more than a few jobs here in a state that's dead last in the country in starting up businesses and creating jobs. What do we do? First thing I do as governor, first thing I do as CEO of the state, the Chief Economic Development Officer of the state. I get on the phone, I beat the pavement, I start talking to employers large and small. What do you need? What do you take to grow? What does it take to invest? How can we get you to start hiring again? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, I bet they're going to say I need a $100 million tax giveaway or I'm going to move to Georgia. Well, Carol, we went around at CCSU. We talked to the businesses. That's not what I heard. You know, we went to the insurance companies right here in Hartford, and they said, we need more actuaries. You know, we need more statisticians. We need more accountants. And that's what Drew Harris, that's what we did at CCSU. We made sure they didn't have to go out of state to fill those needs. That's okay. Dean Kremens, he went to all the major manufacturers in the state, the defense contractors, and says, what do you need to grow and expand here in Connecticut? And they said, we need engineers. We need design engineers. We need electrical engineers. There's a shortage of engineers in Connecticut. So the dean went to the state and said, we'd like to start up an engineering program at CCSU, Central Connecticut. And the state, oh no, not now. We have plenty of other programs, not necessary. They weren't listening. Soon thereafter, Sikorsky stood up and announced they're going to be moving one of their major research facilities out of state. I know what you're thinking. I said, oh, Sikorsky, they're probably moving to India or China where it's so cheap. No, they didn't move to India. They didn't move to China. They moved to Bozeman, Montana. They moved to Bozeman, Montana because the governor, Brian Schweitzer, picked up the phone and said, what do you need? And he listened. And he said, I'm going to start up an engineering program at the University of Montana, Bozeman, so you're going to have the best and the brightest, Sikorsky, to make sure your research facility is state of the art. Why, Connecticut, are we losing out to Bozeman? We have the best women's basketball team in the world. They don't lose to anybody. They don't lose to anybody, and we're losing to Bozeman. What would Coach Gino say? He'd say, Connecticut, go on offense. All right, the other guys, they know how to play offense. I was there at a mid-sized manufacturing company, and he said, Ned, I just got a call. I got a call from a guy named Rick. And Rick said, you know, you ought to think about moving your operation down to Austin, Texas. I know you got about a year left on your lease. Come on down to Austin. And this guy said, you know, Rick, I've been a New Britain guy all my life. I don't need to move down to Austin. He said, come on down. Weather's great, great schools. You'll fit right in. We'll fly you down. That's Rick Perry, the governor of Texas, and that's the competitive landscape we're working in right now. I'll tell you, I am ready to roll up my sleeves. I know how to talk to business. I know how to get Connecticut back on offense again. All right, first thing. This is Governor Lamont. Yes, Bozeman's a great place for your wind turbine facility, but let me tell you about Connecticut. Let me tell you about the Naugatuck Valley. Do you realize that Connecticut has the most productive workers in the world? Do you realize that we have the best educated workforce? Remember that Connecticut is the gateway to New England, the gateway to one of the most extraordinary markets in the world. This is where you should be. I'm looking right now. I see a building. It's got your name on it. Let's build something together. Or how about that biotech company that's thinking about moving out of state? You know, yeah, we have a research triangle right here in Connecticut. It starts at Yale New Haven. They're doubling the size of their major research facility, lab space, life sciences. Keep going right down I-95. Go right down the Knowledge Corridor, right to Pfizer with their major research facility in Groton, New London. Quinnipiac University, they're going to be starting up a medical school. This is where you want to be. Have you thought about the Science Park in New Haven? That's right. That's where Eli Whitney reinvented manufacturing. And you should be there with the other biotech companies because that's where Connecticut is going to reinvent medicine. And that is the story of Connecticut. We've always succeeded and prospered, not because we are the cheapest, because we were the best. We had the best ideas, and great ideas create good paying jobs. Connecticut. I mean, we invented the sewing machine. We invented the typewriter. We invented the submarine. We invented the helicopter. Right down the street in Waterbury, first they perfected the pocket watch, then they perfected the wristwatch. They have a sense of humor. They invented the Mickey Mouse watch. That's the story of Connecticut past, and that's the story of Connecticut's future. Mark my words, we are going to manage our way through this budget crisis. But Connecticut, we need more than a manager. You need more than a politician. We need a leader who's ready to stand up and ready to bring out the best in the state of Connecticut. Will you stand up? Will you stand up for Connecticut? Will you join us? I believe in this state. I'm not afraid to lead. Come on, Connecticut, let's get going again. Let's get growing again. Let's get back on offense. Connecticut, let's start winning again. Thank you, thank you, thank you.